Thanks so much for joining us on CBS News Colorado. I'm Michael Spencer, joined by CBS Colorado sports anchors Romy Bean and Richie Cozzolino. Your NBA champion, the Denver Nuggets, preparing for their future with the Summer League in Las Vegas.
Now look, hasn't been great so far. Nuggets are 0-3.
That's an understatement.
But it's Summer League. It doesn't really matter. The important thing about it is that the young guys, get to get some experience and exposure.
Exactly. Nuggets started their time in Las Vegas last week with a loss against the Bucks, followed by 2 more L's this week to the Hawks, the Jazz. Next game, Friday versus the team the Nuggets beat for the championship. The Miami Heat. Tip-off is at 6:30, guys. And although, as we just talked about, there hasn't been a win, they've been close in basically every game, and we've seen some players we haven't seen much on the court until now. I guess we'll start it off with who stood out to you guys watching them.
I think there's 5 big guys. And first, let's talk about the second-year players. Peyton Watson, to me, did exactly what Peyton Watson was supposed to do. He was the best player on the court. He showed a lot more leadership that they wanted to see. He stepped up in every facet of the game. He has an opportunity to really step up and take a big role this year, and I think that's exactly what they wanted to see. That's why he played 2 games, and they said, that's enough. We're happy to see what you did. Peyton Watson is going to play an elevated role this year.
And that, to me, is what Summer League is really all about. You look at this Nuggets team, they're the defending champs. They've got a really good core, but can you get some younger guys who maybe don't have the regular season experience, or some rookies who obviously don't have the regular season experience, an opportunity to play in different roles? Can you see what Colin Gillespie might be able to give you when the regular season begins and when the preseason starts here in a couple months? That, to me, is what Summer League is really all about. And
you're not looking for that star that's going to get you 30, 35 points a game, because who departed this year? You know, the Nuggets have their 5 starting players right now. They've got their KCPs, they've got their Nikola Jokic's, their Jamal Murray's, but you're looking for the guys to replace Jeff Green, Bruce Brown, those bench players, those role minutes. And exactly what you said is, if Peyton Watson is going to show glimpses of greatness and glimpses that he can help out on an NBA championship roster, it's exactly what you're looking for.
And I think there's been positives from every single guy. We talked about Peyton. You look at Colin Gillespie, great basketball IQ. He showed he has gotten more comfortable each and every game. This is a guy who hasn't played since last year's Summer League. Then you look at the rookies. Julian Strawther, this kid can shoot, but he really elevated in Game 3. You finally got the game you wanted to see out of him. Great moves, great finishes. Jalen Pickett, another guy, great basketball IQ. Going to be fun to see the competition between him and Gillespie, kind of for some point guard playing time. And finally, Hunter Tyson.
Yeah.
Maybe the surprise of Summer League, but this kid gets it done on both ends. He had a double-double last game. He has been really impressive. Calvin Booth, yet again, seems to have mastered the draft.
It's really impressive to see, because you need those role players if you're going to get these guys off the bench. Hunter Tyson was kind of that guy who flew under the radar from Clemson. The big talk of the draft was getting Julian Strawther. He can come out and produce right away. Jalen Pickett, great guy, big guy, but has ball handles. And then there was kind of that Hunter Tyson who doesn't really have a defined role, at least right now with the Nuggets. But as we saw, put up some massive points, that double-double recently. I think that's big improvement and big improvement and big surprise, perhaps, for the NBA Summer.
Well, and you mentioned role players. We saw the role that role players had in the Nuggets playoff run, which obviously ended up in that NBA championship, and hopefully this is the start of some of those guys taking that next step. Now, there is something new coming up this season that's getting some mixed reviews. It's an in-season tournament. It's going to go from November through the final in December. Romy?
Yeah, all 30 teams were drawn into groups of 5. So the Nuggets will go up against the Clippers, the Pelicans, the Mavericks, and the Rockets.
And at the end, it's going to be a quote-unquote champion, and MVP of the tournament will be crowned MVP. We all know folks around these parts love MVPs, guys. What do we think about it? Good, bad? What do we think?
I like it. Obviously, this is something that the international leagues do, and I think that this adds maybe a little bit more flavor to the regular season, which we know through 82 games can get quite boring. I'll be interested to see how the teams take this, right? Are they serious about it? Do they really want to be a part of it? You will be able to know that early on based on the way that they are playing and how this tournament plays out. I think there could be some hiccups given that it is the first year, but I like what the NBA is trying to do and trying to spice up its regularly boring regular season.
Well, and I think if you look at it from a GM, from an NBA front office perspective, this is brilliant on a lot of levels. First of all, there is nothing in the NBA that can compete with the NFL and college football in November and December. We saw the NFL do its first really full Christmas Day slate, and they crushed the NBA by millions and millions and millions of viewers. This gives people a reason to tune in to the NBA, right? Because October, the season starts, there's hype. it kind of peters out a little bit until the NFL playoffs are over. So I think that's smart. The other thing that I think that the NBA is hopefully trying to combat here is load management has become, players and teams are absolutely abusing it. The Nuggets the exception. Nikola Jokic does not like to load manage, but it's become they're abusing the system. If you can get players and teams to really care about this NBA Cup to mean something, maybe this load management takes a seat back a little bit, and then that's better for the fans because now they're going in, they actually are paying money to see the players that they want to see play.
NFL is king, right?
Yep.
What do people pay attention to? And even if it's Broncos country getting boat raced by 52 points against the LA Rams on Christmas Day, people are going to watch that. So I'd say that is difficult to compete against. We obviously know what the NBA is trying to do there. I also would say that, maybe the rookies are getting a little bit of chance to shine early on in the season. Maybe if Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic don't play the entire tournament, it's a good time for the stakes to be a little higher for the Colin Gillespies, the Peyton Wastons, to show that when you're playing in a game that matters, it's time to turn it up.
And maybe there's a team that's kind of on the bottom tier that all of a sudden makes a run in this tournament or does something, and then maybe they're like, oh, wait a minute, we thought we were going to be on the outside looking in when the playoffs come in a couple months. Maybe actually we have an opportunity here to do something that we didn't even think we could do.
There's some prize money with this too, and when you look at it, I think it might be $500,000 for each winner. That is chump change to someone like Nikola Jokic, who's making $52 million. But for the young guys, you could see these guys really wanting to play for that little bit of money, plus the cup, plus the bragging rights. So you talk about the young guys. This could be a great opportunity for the young guys to really feel like they have an opportunity to do something big, win something big, and get a little purse for it.
Finally, a little controversy this week after the NBA 2K video game franchise released its player ratings. Jamal Murray not happy.
Well, he shouldn't be happy. He was rated 84, which is the same rating as some of the following players. Detroit's Cade Cunningham, Houston's Jalen Green, Oklahoma City's Josh Gideon. Oh, no, this guy? Washington's new guard, Jordan Poole. That's offensive. That's offensive.
And he took offense to it on Twitter by saying, ain't no way my rating that low. How is that possible? Guys, how is that possible? Who are half these people we just talked about?
We talk a lot, and we talked a lot during the finals about people don't pay attention to the Nuggets. Even though they were in the finals, I think maybe some people are still not paying attention to the Nuggets.
That's all it says to me. When you saw what Jamal Murray did, and he just won Comeback Player of the Year, and Nikola Jokic, even some nights he was the MVP of certain games throughout the finals, and you're going to give him an 84.
Right, and what was Jokic, 97 or something along those lines, just to compare.
As he should be.
As he should be. That one's accurate, the two-time MVP. Yeah, come on, got to get that right. But they're still fighting for respect, it seems like, guys. And, hey, that was the calling card for the last season, and it worked out. So
maybe it's extra fuel for Jamal heading into this year. And in Madden, they can go in and adjust those ratings mid-season. Hopefully they can do that at NBA 2K and give Jamal a little boost. That's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for joining us for our Nuggets chat. We will have the latest on all of our local teams on CBSColorado.com.